Welcome back to GBO Takeover. I'm Max Howard, and we're going to talk about how effective Neyland Stadium is at nighttime against opponents. We just played South Carolina, and I honestly think it was an utter beatdown, 41-20. Held Spencer Rattler to 0 passing touchdowns, only 169 passing yards. For a quarterback who's been really close to perfect this season, I take that as a win defensively. Last year, we were known as one of the worst pass defense teams in the nation. We gave up too many yards every single game, and I was just so happy to see our guys go out there and compete and be able to put a stop on Spencer Rattler and what he's been doing. Held him to only 2 of 14 on third downs and 2 of 5 on fourth down conversions. Hey, I cannot complain about that. So I was going to go through some stats about Neyland at night and our record and how it seems to affect teams. These stats are coming from before the game. I decided to make this video after seeing the full effect this last Saturday. So, yeah, let's get to it. All right. As you see, this is coming as a preview to the game this past Saturday, but I realized some really good stats on this post on UT Sports website for Tennessee. Couple things to note, honestly, is the fact that under Coach Heupel, Tennessee has been dominant. We have a 12 game home win streak that is up close per se with Georgia, Michigan, and Utah. Utah had a loss this past weekend, but it was on the road, so their win streak is going strong still. Josh Heupel is 14-3 as head coach at the University of Tennessee, outscoring opponents 783 to only 353 points. I mean, as a coach, that has to be astounding if you were to look at your numbers. But really, in his press conferences, Josh Heupel likes to focus on the fact that this isn't doable if it wasn't for the loud, ruckus fandom of those who enter into Neyland Stadium and fill out all 102,000 of those seats. I went to the UT Martin game last year, and of course, for it being UT Martin, it's not going to be that crazy. I mean, it's a glorified scrimmage. It's one that you should win, even with your third string playing the entire game. But the atmosphere is so wonderful. I can only imagine how crazy it must be at night, and that's why I wanted to focus on what Tennessee looks like at nighttime. Right here, especially with dark mode. When we initiate dark mode, where those all black jerseys with the orange numbers and so stripes on the pants and the black helmets with the orange stripes and the orange power tee, I mean, those are nice. Those are pretty, and hey, they continue to work. So, all right. Sorry about that. Long-winded, so I get a little thirsty. Um, Last year we defeated Kentucky 44-6 when Kentucky was looking really strong going into the Tennessee game. Um, had a good amount of us fans a little worried. We were honestly thinking about how Tennessee was going to pull it off, and then when we hear that they are going dark mode, Neyland at night, and that gave a confidence boost for sure. But then we come out and we dominate We absolutely dominate. Tennessee is now 4-1 all time. We're wearing black jerseys. Um, I don't know if we will bring those back out this year. Um, because I do really like the white uniforms. I like the orange. I like all of them. I really like the orange helmets. They didn't get a good reputation for the loss that we had last season in at South Carolina. Um, it was 63-38, if I'm not mistaken. So this was a wonderful get back game. Uh, the nighttime definitely helped us to an extent, allowing your crowd to get even more amped up, get more into the game. So eager by the time kickoff comes around, and it helped push Josh Heupel to 6-1 in night games. And last season we were 3-0 in night games. So we're already 1-0 this season with 7 more games to go. That's crazy to think. We're already close to being halfway through the season. And Tennessee's starting to kind of pick things up. Hopefully we can carry that into the game against A&M, but luckily we got this bye week, giving the players who got a little banged up a little time to recover, giving the coaches to scheme a little bit. See A&M this weekend against Alabama. That one's going to be a good one to watch. Um, Later on this week, I'm going to do a live stream about the pick'ems and about games that are going on around the country. I might try and get a guest on to talk about the experience they had at Kentucky this past weekend when Kentucky brought it to Florida, ran it for, I think it was like 330 yards. Ray Davis had 200 and something of all of those 330. They couldn't be stopped. Their quarterback only threw for 60 something yards. And if I was to look at that, I would have been like, oh, Florida should have won that by a mile. And then you look at the rushing stats and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that that'll do it. Um, one I had something written down in my notes about this Tennessee game that was a stat that I hadn't realized, but looking back, it made total sense. Oh crap, what was it? Oh yeah, I had mentioned earlier the 2 of 14 on third downs, astonishing. I mean, when we went down to Gainesville and played Florida, we couldn't stop them on third down, couldn't stop them on fourth down, and this past weekend against South Carolina, it was an absolute domination of the line of scrimmage on third and fourth down. Now, of course, you got that third and fourth down, not first down. Um, Now, of course, you had that punt, the fake punt, where Xavier Legette ran a crosser, and he uh he was wide open. I don't know what our defensive guy just lost him and picked up about 20 yards off of it. And with that, we held Xavier Legette to, I think, his lowest receiving yard game this season. Held Spencer Rattler to 0 passing touchdowns. He had the one rushing touchdown where he jumped over a couple guys and barely snuck the ball in. I was ultimately proud with the way Tennessee played, and I I cannot complain. I mean, we're out here bringing it to South Carolina. You had Spencer Rattler's comments saying it was our Super Bowl. I mean, whatever, kid. I mean, if it was our Super Bowl, then that means you lost. That's all that matters. We got the win. You didn't win. Now we're 0-0 going to the next game. It's a new season every week, and I am ready. I cannot wait for the season to continue. The Florida game, that one hurts, but as time goes on, I'm sure this Tennessee team will continue to grow into its role, and I think Joe Milton will start to pick it up a little bit. Um, they pinpointed something about Joe Milton and his accuracy. When he is when he is quick stepping his feet and he's not set when he passes, he's less accurate. And I think this game against South Carolina really helped him understand that because they keyed in on it. Now, of course, he was still only about 60% accurate, but honestly, I think that's a win for Milton for what he had. It sucks that Brew McCoy had his injury. It was terrible, awful, just disgusting. Um, but I'm sure he'll make a speedy recovery. He won't be back this season by no means, but Brew McCoy is an athlete. He's one of our most reliable receivers, and when he catches the ball, you're almost guaranteed a first down. So I'm excited to see what happens with him if he decides to take his extra year of eligibility or if he decides to go to the NFL. I know he'll do great either way he goes. So I mean, yeah, go Big Orange. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. Gonna have a live show probably Thursday or Friday night. Y'all tune in. I don't know exactly when. Gonna try and get a guest on, talk a little bit, and yeah, tune in next time. See you.